Callum shapes silver with a silence so deep the shop itself holds its breath between his hammer strokes. His voice was stolen by a horrific stagecoach robbery when he was only a frightened boy of 7. Now he communicates through a slate, his elegant script revealing a mind rich with unspoken poetry and fire. Townsfolk think him simple because he never speaks, but his lockets tell truer stories than any sermon ever could. One evening, a woman with a bruised cheek and a torn valise stumbles through his door, gasping for sanctuary. Eliza scans his face, sees gentle calm, and whispers, "Please, he's coming, and I can't marry a monster." Callum takes his slate and writes, "Stay behind the counter. The silver will hide you from all harm." He offers no spoken comfort, but she feels an overwhelming tide of safety radiating from his steady hands. When the brute kicks open the door, Callum stands, a locket all glinting like a tiny silver sword. The thug demands the girl, but Callum just writes, "Leave now, or this all writes on your black heart." Something in the mute man's unblinking stare makes the beast retreat, cursing into the dusty, unforgiving twilight. Eliza collapses, and Callum catches her not with a shout but with 2 arms forged from pure protection. He helps her write a letter to the sheriff, his own handwriting steadying hers when her fingers tremble uncontrollably. Days become weeks, and she learns that his silence is a canvas, never emptiness, filled with attentive listening. She works cleaning his shop, and he teaches her to polish silver until it mirrors her own healing reflection. One dawn, he slides a small velvet box across the workbench, his cheeks coloring like a shy sunset. Inside rests a locket engraved with a meadowlark, and tiny words inside, "You sang my soul back awake." She weeps, not from sorrow, but from the shocking beauty of being truly seen without a single word. He mimes asking if she can accept a mute man, and she presses his hand over her thundering heart. That steady drumbeat becomes his favorite sound, a rhythm more eloquent than any orator's finest hour of rhetoric. Their courtship is a symphony of tiny gestures, fresh coffee poured before she wakes, wildflowers tucked in the vices. They walk at dusk, her hand in his, their conversation the squeeze of fingers, spelling out secret love songs. One night, she asks about his lost voice, and he writes honestly. It locked itself away in childhood terror. She kisses the scar on his throat, a benediction so soft he feels decades of isolation finally dissolve completely. He engraves a second locket, this one saying, "You are the key I never believed truly existed in reality." When the bully returns with a pistol, Callum shields Eliza, his body a silent wall of adamant devotion. The brute cocks the hammer, but Eliza steps forward, voice fierce, "You'll have to kill us both." Demon. Her courage sparks something in Callum, who flips a heavy silver ingot and disarms the man with one throw. The villain sees the unspoken vengeance in those eyes and flees forever, finally understanding silence is not weakness. That night, Callum kneels and presents a ring forged from a silver button pulled from his own shirt front. He opens his mouth, and after a lifetime, a ragged whisper escapes. "Mine. Heart. Yours," shattering the ancient lock. Eliza kisses him, and that fragile croak is the most gorgeous sound ever carried on prairie wind. They marry in a meadow, the Reverend reading the vows Callum penned in flawless calligraphic love upon parchment. His first audible words become legend. "This woman gave me back my voice simply by hearing my quiet." They turn the shop into a place where broken things find purpose, including bruised souls needing silver hope. He crafts lockets for couples, each engraved with a single symbol meaning eternal in a language he invented. She learns to read his silences so well she can finish his sentences by watching his twinkling eyes. Their first child, a boy, is born with a powerful cry that brings Callum to his knees in awe. He names him Echo, the first sound that ever made sense of his own lifelong, profound, silent land. Echo grows up speaking for his father proudly, but cherishing most the quiet fishing trips needing no words. Eliza writes their story in a leather journal, pausing often to touch the locket warm against her skin. She describes Callum's love as a silver fortress with an open door, strong enough to guard wild gentleness. When diphtheria sweeps the territory, their youngest daughter loses her hearing, and panic grips the whole household. Callum takes her tiny hand and signs, "I love you," an alphabet of grace learned for this exact moment. He crafts her a vibrating pendant that hums against her chest whenever he stomps the floor in code. Eliza watches them, realizing their family transforms every perceived lack into a deeper, more beautiful way of connecting. The silver shop becomes a gathering place for outcasts, all learning that difference is simply undiscovered strength waiting. Decades pass, and their hair matches the silver they worked, but their eyes still hold the original spark. On their 40th anniversary, Callum opens his mouth and delivers a full sentence, voice rusty but bright. "You're still home." The effort of speaking leaves him exhausted, but he beams because he finally gave her the spoken vow she deserved. Eliza simply fastens her original locket around his neck, clicking it shut over his heart, her eternal answer. When age finally stills his hands, he uses a stamping tool to make one final locket with trembling care. Inside it reads, "My silence held a galaxy, and you named every star with your patient, holy love." He passes peacefully with his head on her shoulder, a silver chain linking their fingers together to the last. Eliza wears both lockets now, feeling his voice in the metal's cool kiss against her crinkled, still blushing skin. Before she follows him 2 years later, she teaches Echo to engrave the words, "Listen with your heartbeat." The shop continues, a sanctuary where every locket holds a mirror so couples see their own hidden worth. Today, visitors leave handwritten notes under the anvil, asking Callum's spirit to bless their silent hopes and dreams. One couple shares a first kiss there, then buys a locket engraved with the gentle phrase, "Silence found us." The town erects a statue of a man with an open locket, his mouth turned upward in eloquent bronze. Echo tells his children nightly, "Grandpa's voice was the quietest thunder, shaking the world without bruising a petal." The story of the mute silversmith passes through generations, a melody of silver ringing louder than any gunshot. It teaches that love speaks no single tongue. It invented its own language, the dawn god made devotion. Schoolchildren tour the shop, pressing their ears to the anvil, and swear they hear a humming promise echoing. That hum is simply the accumulation of decades spent engraving forever into every second, a resonance defying time. Eliza and Callum's lockets reside in a small museum, still clasped together, their chains an eternal silver braid. People weep before them, understanding that true communication isn't about mouths moving, but about hearts touching across infinite quiet. So when your world gets too loud, remember two lovers who bared their souls through a simple hinged silver oval. Their legacy whispers, "Never fear your own silence, for that is the blank page where the wildest love writes." A mute silversmith taught a dusty frontier town that the most powerful speeches are delivered without uttering one sound. Hold that truth as a locket, and let it warm your chest whenever you feel your own voice is small.